I don't even know if I want to go anymore after that intro. That's our brand new intro. What's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 11 of Off the Puck Hockey on the FHN Network. I'm your host, Tyler Fines, and you can catch Off the Puck on Rogers TV, Channel 20, every Saturday night at 9 p.m. You can also view our live recordings on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just follow at Off the Puck Hockey. Dates and times, make sure you check us out. And huge news, we would like to welcome our new network partner from the West Coast of Canada, ASA TV, Amateur Sports TV, as we join one of the fastest growing networks in North America. It's trade deadline day today. We got lots to talk about, not even close to enough time, but we are going to highlight the big ones. Hall to Boston, Foligno, Rittich to the Leafs, Jeff Carter to the Pens. I figured I'd mention you there, Walker. I'm sure you're excited about that one. So many trades and just, again, not enough time to talk about as they prep for their playoff runs. Tonight, we welcome local boy to the show to discuss his professional career, accumulating over 1,000 PIMs in that time. We'd like to welcome Mr. Alex Penner. What's going on, fella?
Not too much, boys. Just here to maybe entertain you with some stories and see where we go with them.
Well, listen, I'm really excited to have you on. I know the boys are. So before I introduce or get into that, I want to say what's going on to the boys, Mr. Adam Stiles and the Wookiee Monster, Mike Walker. What's up, boys?
Not too much, Findsy. Hell of an intro we got.
Oh, so much better. Yeah, I want to bring it. Dude, brand new
night hockey or something.
Brand new. Look, we actually look like we know what we're doing for once.
Yeah,
it's pretty snazzy.
It is. But yeah, listen, you know what? Let's just quickly dive in before we get talking to Alex here about a few of the trades. And I want to just quickly go through, obviously, the big one. I don't really want to talk about the Leafs on the Hall trade quickly around the table with a yay or a nay on the Hall trade to Boston. Stiles, what do you think?
I like it, man. It's only second round pick, not bad. I mean, he hasn't really had much success, but he's got something to prove.
Great. Wux, what do you think?
Wux.
I'll go opposite on him. I'll say nay. I think he's a bust this year, and I think he's going to be about $4 million next year.
Oof. All right. Alex, were you following all the trades this month? Or today?
At work, the boys are talking about it. They ask my opinion sometimes. But to say $8 million, 2 goals, 17 assists or something, or 19 assists in like 30-something games,
something like that.
What's going on, man? For that kind of money, you got to be doing produce more. So hopefully this trade shakes him up, gives him what he needs, and puts him where he is. But if not, then when do you look at the player and not the teams he's been on? You know what I mean? So something's got to change.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then obviously the next obvious one is, how does Kyle Dubas rank 1 to 10 in his off? Let's go back right to Alex. What do you think, Alex? 1 to 10 for Dubas.
Kyle Dubas, I'm biased. He used to be my agent back in the day when he was first starting off. So I am very biased. That guy has an unbelievable life story that if you know it, you should listen to it. But so I'm going to give him a 10. That's
awesome. Not Uptown Sports. What was the sports agency again there with Rich Reynolds?
Oh, that's how long ago it was.
Oh, that's right. It's Don Reynolds and Todd Reynolds, and their name's going to come to me. But
it's like I forget what it was. He was just a young go-getter. He's younger than me. Like my dad was like one of the scouts in the Sioux, and my dad would saw potential in him, and he always said like, listen to this kid, because the older guys didn't want to listen to him because he was so young. But my dad was a big fan of his, and just watching him go on from agent to GM to where he is now and winning a American League championship and producing with the Toronto and trying to develop and blowing up that social scene. The guy's incredible and very talented.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wookie, what's 1 out of 10 Dubas?
Well, I'm going to give him the same. I'm saying he's a 10. Stiles and I were talking about it at work today. I mean, aside from my Penguins, I'm on the Leafs wagon. I've got 4 or 5 on my fantasy team now. So.
Good. So. And I don't even need to ask Stiles. I know exactly what's coming out. If you look at anybody's Facebook post or Twitter post from Mr. Adam Stiles, he'll tell you right now exactly what he's going to give him a 12. I think he's a 12. Best GM ever.
For sure.
It's true. You checked all the boxes, man. You checked all the boxes. What you needed.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Panner, did Dubas play hockey?
What's that? Say it again.
Did Dubas play any hockey?
No, as far as I know, he was like when he was like 14 or something like that. Someone's got to check this out. I don't know the actual like timeline, but he was like the stick boy equipment manager kind of growing up, and then he got into trying to be a scout for them, and then he was a young scout, and then he went off and did the agency, and then came back and he was a GM, and then he went in the American League and now in the NHL. Like I think he started off as like he might have played like minor like hockey like everybody in Canada.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to brush over, like I said, we're just going to brush over a few. Obviously, this is going to be a big week for everybody. Anthony Mantha on the move from Detroit, heading over to the Capitals. They're building up, trying to get ready. Jets grab Jordy Ben. Hayden Fleury's heading off. And, of course, we got to talk about Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's talk about old boy Jeff Carter. Is he even going to have an impact there?
I think he's going to get another ring.
Oh, so confident. Confident.
Oh.
I love it.
And outside of that, like I said, nothing too huge. A few moves. Obviously, Leafs grabbing Foligno and Rittich, Kulikov on the way. I mean, there's so many to talk about, but I think we brushed on all the important ones, and we'll get back to them later in the show. But I mean, we got Alex on here, not just a pretty face. We brought him on to make sure he's entertaining the masses here. So listen, once again, Alex, thanks for joining us. And just tell them where you're working now. You look like you're in an office.
No, this is an office, at the rental house here. But no, I'm working actually at a Darlington nuclear generation power station. And as a Boilermaker, I'm working there with Aecon Canada. We're doing the refurbishment of the 4 units. We already finished Unit 2. We're on to Unit 3, and we're just starting. So to keep the lights on, boys. Shout
out to Aecon, Alex. You're gonna have somebody join. Did you have a young guy joining you there today? Because we have my neighbor just got hired on with Aecon. They're doing a project down in Dover.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, Aecon's been very good to me and very good to the Boilermaker Union, and so give them a good shout out there. Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I'm going to let out. I'm sure Adam and the boys they want to talk to you, and they're going to get you riled up. So let them get going.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it good.
It's all right. You're good. That's why we have a producer.
We'll ease you in. Yeah. So I just want to. Recently, you're a father, Penner. How's that treating you? How's that?
Oh, it was. Well, I can definitely say I'm glad I lasted this long and I made it to here, so that I had a privilege to experience fatherhood. Because once you get there, like I don't know everyone else, but anyone that's a father or a parent knows, like once you have a kid, like everything else seems kind of meaningless before, and it's just a whole flip, like world just flipped upside down. And it's good. It's good. It gives you something to. Gives you a lot more purpose and meaning than just going out there and cracking skulls and kicking ass. You know what I mean?
Speaking of parents, before we get going here, how did none of you guys notice I had a sticker on my neck from playing with my daughter? And let me just go through the first 10 minutes of the show on our new network with a sticker on my neck, and you absolutely could see it, jerks.
So you go for a new look.
Yeah, absolutely. She looked like one of those guys that had the smoke or whatever, just been throwing up the hole.
I thought it was your tie, Findsy.
Brutal.
Props to Sutton on that one, Findsy.
I know, unreal.
Let's start from the beginning. Talk about where you grew up playing hockey, and where you grew up, and then let's go into a bit about how you got eventually seen, I guess you can say. Noticed.
Yeah. I grew up all over. My dad was a OPG worker at times in his life, so we traveled a bit for him. And then obviously through hockey, traveled a lot. But started off like minor hockey was in Grand Valley, and then we moved into the city for more exposure and more opportunities. And that's when it became West Hill Golden Hawks. Single A, West Hill, and then Leaside Kings, Double A, and then went Don Mills Flyers, Triple A, Whitby Wildcats for a midget year, and then over to Guelph Dominators Junior B, and then up in the OHL for a bit, and then I went down to Maritime Junior A for like 3 games. Got a pretty good record there.
Yeah.
It was like four points and 50 pims in games. and then went to Niagara Falls Junior B, and then headed down to Laredo, and then I my OHL stint was when I was 19, and then I was drafted to Guelph Storm, and always did exhibition games. Couldn't quite crack the lineup. They were really good back then, but I think it was more of a favor for my brother. My brother was a goalie there. My dad was a longtime scout there. He was a scout with great coaches and Jamie Level or Mr. Level, I should say. And then Craig Hartsburg. I had the pleasure of playing for Craig Hartsburg and Sault Ste. Marie. I got a funny story there. I'll crack into a story right now. I was for a warm-up.
Oh, yeah.
Hartsy was pissed already, and he's in one of his moods. And we're doing a drill, and Hartsy and my dad go way back, right? So like they go back to like Guelph Storm, and this is up in the Sioux. And I jump over the boards because I'm like, hey, we got to get this going. We got to get the practice back on track. Jump over the boards, step on one of the pucks that's all by the boards, slip, fall down, slide into the back of Hartsy. And Hartsy, from years of playing, has like bad hips and stuff. Take him right out. He comes down, just tomahawk chops me, and I just took it. And I was like, And then I got up, skated to the boards, and I guess the D-man throws a pass in my skates, goes off. I'm like, fuck, he blows a whistle one more time. D-man throws a pass way out in front of me. I dive for it, miss it. I look over, Hartsy's two-handing the water bottles. He's like, we don't need these anymore. And then he friggin' blew the whistle. He's famous for blowing it down and making you bag and then do it right. I took him right out. Fucking
really,
like the worst player on the team, right? Just trying to get the boys going, and just made it worse.
Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then
at what age, Penner, did you start?
What's that? Sorry, Adam.
What age did you start fighting? What age did you start fighting? Did you realize that you had to start fighting for part of your game, or did that just come to you? Really?
That's also a good one. So I really liked hockey. I loved hockey, but unfortunately, I wasn't that good. So my father, with the experience of being an OHL goalie coach and scout, told me if I wanted to go farther in hockey, maybe I should stop fighting at school and start fighting in hockey until my skills caught up and I was able to play amongst the rest of them. So that's
good advice.
Yeah, so I literally fought my way to pro so I can make those dreams in the driveway true. You know what I mean?
So,
absolutely.
Penner, just want to touch in here, Penner. You're a pretty technical fighter all the way up. Obviously, playing junior and stuff. Who kind of taught you to have certain techniques and when to take versus when to throw punches and that sort of stuff?
There's a lot of credibility. I was a wild kid. I was just a lanky, skinny, wild kid growing up. That just I had a lot of inner anger and just liked to fight and stuff. And it was a good release, and it was a good way to stay off the streets. You know what I mean? And growing up in Toronto in 416 there, and then but there's a boxing coach in Oshawa. Forgetting his name right now. He's gonna be pissed. I forget. He'll come to me later too. And then my best buddy was Muay Thai, and that was Steve Proctor. He took me under his wing. I was pretty much a dude on the couch for like one summer, and he just trained me all the time. And I would go running with his dog and stuff. And but there's Adam Hickson, and Adam Hickson was part of the Sean Tompkins crew out of Hamilton that was like exploding the UFC back then. So I had that privilege of being able to train at that caliber, and that's where I learned, like, you take them into the deep end and then you drown them. Like, it's like I know, like, guys like Morales love going toe to toe, and they just loved opening up and just love going what you got. Like, and where I loved a good toe to toe, but like, I'm like toe to toe. Like, if you get tagged, you're down. I wanted to tire you out, hit you a couple times, tire you out, hit you a couple times, not hold on and all that crap. But I wanted to take you, get you tired, and then see what you got. Let's see what you got after a minute. Because hockey fights are like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Like, you don't see anything that long. I want to see you after 30 seconds when your excitement gets out, that adrenaline gets out, and then smack you in the face, and then see what you got. Like, you know what I mean?
Good strategy. Yeah, I like that. That's a different take. You don't hear that very often, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like, I want to see what you got. I want to see like that sometimes. And you know what's underestimated is body shots. So underestimated. Like, you give a good body shot and that guy's not thinking about anything else. And then you can keep going on. And then I had the privilege in Colorado to train with Ryan Schultz and Ed Herman, because my buddy who was a Marine, Reed O'Malley, hooked me up at their gym trials in Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. So I was training. So when I was in Colorado and I was dummying guys when we went over to the West Coast, and I was just dummying guys, just cleaning house in that year. That's because every morning I was training with Ed Herman from the UFC, short fuse, and these guys are animals. So and then when I ended up going to the Quebec League, I was living in Montreal, and I got hooked up with Grant Brothers Boxing. And Grant Brothers Boxing is Howard and Otis Grant, and that is one of the best world-class boxers ever. Like, the people from George St. Pierre's gym come over, TriStar, come over there and learn boxing. Like, these guys, that's when I was going against Morasti and Joel Theriault. Yeah. And that's when I realized, okay, this is fighting. Like, let's do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, before it was a good, like, because those guys in Colorado were ground and pound guys. So that's where I got like that. Like Steve Proctor and the Muay Thai boys, that was my clinching and all that. And then like the ground and pound guys, that was my wear and tear. And then I had my boxing, and then that's your like bam, 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 bam. Like it's like, it's awesome.
Did you ever go Yablonsky?
No, that's one. So there's a couple of guys I really wanted to go, but it never lined up. And then like I had my own issues and stuff like that. Like I suffered a couple of issues here and there. So it was but Yablonsky, Steve Bosse, like there's some good ones I really wanted to check off the list, just because those, like, see, that's what I mean. Yeah. Those guys are the guys that, like, when I was coming up, we looked at and you heard stories and you heard rumors and you're like, oh man, like whatever. Yeah. But like once you get to an age and like you do stuff like I used to, like when I was younger, I was such an idiot, right? Like I used to be like, I got 18 fights, I got to get 18 bar fights, like, you know what I mean? And then you find out like there's boxing and stuff that you can actually do stuff, like you don't have to risk that, and like it's retarded and whatever. Yeah, so like it's very interesting.
Yes, so we're gonna go a little bit deeper into fighting here. Yeah, who are like some of the surprises maybe that you can say that you fought that maybe you thought like I'm gonna absolutely just dust this guy, and then you actually kind of gave you a go and you're holy, like kind of undercover tough guys?
You know what? It's you can't like there's guys. Actually, there was one guy. I can think off the top of my head, but that was just like you get like man, like I was hitting on before. You're kind of like you grow up listening to all these stories and stuff. Like I had Brandon Sugden, we had like Probert, Tony Twist. Like I trained with Ryan Vandenbush. That guy was an animal, man. He like ended people's careers. Like these are like, and then you look up to and idolize these people, and like Mike Tyson, like, you know what I mean? Like you're staring people, and then you just know, like sometimes you get in a fight and know, like Derek Knowles, that was funny. Didn't get caught on tape, but it was funny. Like we line up and he asked me to fight, and I was like, who are you? And I even did the lean back and looked at his name. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, and then just dusted the kid, like playing. But he was like, but again, like people, anybody that steps up to anybody, like fuck, I got dusted
Give
back in the
credit,
day. Pistolini, man. Back in OHL, the only actually I got caught by Scott Todd once, and like it went down up. You know what I mean? Like one of those flash knockouts.
Yeah.
But Gino Pistolini
Yeah.
caught me with an uppercut, and I was just like, I was still fighting, and fucking the refs were in. I was like, what the hell happened? But he got me good, man. But that's what I mean. You gotta lose to learn. You gotta get in it to learn more. And once you get into it and you fight a couple people a couple times, like in Quebec, you're fighting those guys all the time. Like those guys love to fight. They're trying to live. Like that's a different lifestyle up there, man. And and to be like one of the roosters that crow at the top in that league I think it shows just your toughness in the hockey fight world.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's somebody you'd love a rematch with?
Oh man, the 1K. Morasti was always a good fight, man, because he just loved it. He's an honorable man, and and he loved to fight. He's just like, let's do this, like frig, man.
Yeah.
I know if I got in tight with him, like he's popped me twice in the nose in a fight, and I was bloody, and I was just like, like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, Joel Theriault was a good Tilly. That guy was awesome. Like, man, you talk about like a kindred spirit. That guy is awesome. Like, oh yeah, we were in the fight. Like, I've never had a fight like this, and it was the best thing I've ever had. And like, we were going at it, and like, we were going boom, boom, boom. And I remember he hit me like 3 times right here, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, if that hit me like right here, my face would be shattered. Like he just, And then like, but we got in tight, and he's like, switch, and I was like, all right, here we go, switch. And then he's like, switch, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And then like, he was like that, and I was just like, this guy's unbelievable. Like,
animal.
And then after we got into the box, we're in the corner battling for a puck, and he's just grunting and groaning and giving it, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. And he's just like, after we left the corner, like we're in the corner, like just cross-checking each other and spearing each other. And we get into the corner, and he's like, good one, nice, and skates off. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, this guy's awesome. Oh yeah, it was too funny. It was a different league up there, man. Like, I'm used to like, you do some hockey and like there's a dirty hit and then you fight, or you need the crowd or momentum. And they're like, no, man, like I'd step on the ice, and the guy and their guy would step on the ice and start doing circles and like taking off his bucket. And like before the puck dropped, I'm like, I guess we're fighting. I'm like, okay, here we go, boys. But they had some really good players too. Like their top 3 lines were really good. Like it was, they're all ex-NHL, American League, European players. Like it's a good league. I was really surprised. They just didn't practice as much, but they were really good actually.
I know I'm coming back later, but are we talking about the GOJHL?
No,
GOHL.
Quebec Fighting League.
I'm joking.
I was just going to say.
No, I'm joking. I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was just hoping to lead it just to transition into that conversation, because there's a bunch of guys I knew that used to play with on that team. Friggin' guys that got traded from you guys, like Justin Gibson, Josh Ironmonger. Half of these people don't even know who these guys are. Merrick Green. Yeah. Todd Cooper.
Merrick Green. That guy was my he was my drinking partner. We got it. We that was high school, man. He's awesome.
Oh, he's a beauty.
I can't believe it.
You know,
you went way back on those guys.
Oh yeah, I went way back. I was looking because I played against you. Because you and I played against each other when I was playing in Orangeville. You remember how good Orangeville was? They were really good.
Yeah. There was that one guy who's number 10 or something. He was like supposed to be your fighter or something.
Oh, I don't know, the big tall guy, Anafati. There was a bunch of guys.
Oh no, I remember Anafati. I was buddies with him. Yeah. Did we
see? There you go. See, we don't need. Listen, tell you what we'll do. We're going to cut out Styles and Walks. We're just going to talk the rest of this about We are the GOJHL. We're going to talk about old time.
Golden
The Golden Horseshoe.
Hey man, we played for not Donville's, friggin' Guelph Dominators, and we used to phone them when there's like 8 of us used to get together and drink and play poker, and we used to phone the Domino's and be like, yeah, there's a team party, we need 20 pizzas, and they're like, okay, team party, it's on the house, and we're like, yeah, great. We always got free pizzas, and we were just young idiots. We were like 17. and we're
We had a
getting
good team. There was like who else was on there? Adam Roth. I think Adam Roth ended up going over there at one point, or he went from there to Cambridge. Can't remember.
Yeah, no, Cambridge. Roth was really good back then.
Friggin' right, he was. Hell yeah, he was a hell of a hockey
There was
player.
a guy at Waterloo that I saw in pro, and I was like, "Holy shoot!"
Yeah, like we had Jamie Shasma. He went down and played in the coast.
Yeah. Jamie Shasma. I played with Shasma now in Texas, man. He's still playing. That guy's has got a
Is
family.
he still playing?
I think
Jesus
so.
Christ, he's our age. He's made a good career to himself. He was pretty good when he played with us, but I mean, I don't know if I
He's
call him.
good. He was good.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he got real good.
Yeah, he helped Allen win a couple championships. Like he was good.
Yeah, you should have seen our junior B coach. We used to, I think I've told the story before about in between periods, you go hack darts with the players in between periods. Game, yeah, he was the man.
Oh, you should have seen. That was me in England, just hacking darts with like the freaking arena guys. Just like, hey guys, you want to fight? All right, I'm trying to get you a fight. All right,
Was he in between? Yeah, in between periods though.
I could sneak out for one if I could. You know what I mean? Like England was not, man. I went to England and like the guys, I would give them passes and they couldn't even take passes in the backhand. I was like, this is where I am. All right. And then, but it was a good league too. It was like, but it was like good before I got there because they had the lockout, NHL lockout, and then it was good. Like we had big names like Bissonnette and stuff like that went there after me and stuff. Like it was kind of it was like me, the Sheriff, Mike Scroy. Sorry, tongue tied there. Yeah, like it was good toughness, but not really. Like Justin Sawyer, like it was good toughness, but nothing like it was with Eric Cairns and stuff like that, or with the Biz Nasty and all them when they went over there and tore it up. Like we had Mike Hoffman.
271
I forgot Mike was over there.
271 penalty, man. That's 25 games.
He's trying to put on a show, man.
That's what.
Trying to put on a show.
Oh, that's what I was when I was young. That's all I was doing. I was just out for a venture and for a show, and like I was out at night socializing and having a good time with the locals, and then be like, "Hey, what do you guys want to see? Come to like, you know what I mean? Bring them, come," and then getting people hooked up because I throw a couple tillies out for them, and everyone loves a good fight. Like I don't care what you say, everyone loves a good fight. Everyone wants blood.
No.
They want it.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everybody does.
You got to tell me twice.
Don't disagree there.
If they paid me enough, I would have done the old Hulk Hogan and like cut myself and been like, "Oh, blood."
Oh yeah. So what was like over there playing, Penner? Did you get to travel much, see much?
You know what? I didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities I had in my life. I don't know. I was very into socializing. I was into having a good time. I was into the party scene. So it was. I was either sleep. I was working out. I loved working out. I loved training for fighting. And then I loved socializing, like every other human being. Yeah. And but no, it was but it was good. Like I got to travel wherever the team went. Like we went to Edinburgh, we went to Glasgow, we went to Belfast. So like I would always walk and go to the bars and go and talk to randoms and do whatever and get in a couple tillies. Belfast, man.
They like to throw down.
Oh, buddy, 3 fights on the way to the bar. Like, it was unbelievable. It's like I had like tourists written all over me. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Well, hey man, I found out Penner 17 back in 1765, Irish. So you know what I mean? Just welcome home. I guess it was one of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I showed up to the bar like muffled up. They're like, "What's going on?" I was like, "It's like 3 fights. What the fuck?" I mean.
Yeah, so that answered my question. I guess you were getting. I was gonna say, were guys calling you on and at the bars and the social scenes and stuff, or were they like trying to make a name, say they fought you, or just fight to fight?
No, like Ireland was the only place. That was the only place. England, everybody was pretty good. Everyone had a good time. There was fights around me. Like the guys on the rugby team were getting in fights, and I was pretty good and pretty understanding, and I didn't look for fights. I got cold cocked by more women sticking up for their men, and in England than I did by men. Like,
I'm assuming you're over there on your. Were you over there on your own, living the single life? Did you bring anyone over with you?
oh no, single life.
Single life.
Oh yeah, like that's what I mean. I was just pretty much a traveling gypsy fighting my way through life.
That's awesome. What made you decide to hang him up and finally say, you know what, the tour is over?
Oh, I was going through way too much, man. I was fighting and I was traveling in Quebec. Okay, so I had that huge suspension in the Central East Coast. Like that just ruined me. It was like 47 games or something, and then there was a heavy fine. Nobody wanted me, and then I went to
talk
Quebec.
Tanner, talk about that if you can.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh man, we were down. We were down. We needed to let the tone set. Okay, we were playing.
If you want to say it, if you don't, that's all right.
No, it was all good. It's all good. We were down like 6-2 or something against Texas Brahmas, and we knew we were going to play them in the finals. So we just got to send a little message, let them know, hey, when you play us, we're gonna be a little rough and tough. Like the 6-2 is a one-off. This ain't going to happen. You know what I mean? So like I challenged the guy to fight by nothing, and then. Play went on, went and got the puck. Next thing you know, there's Tillies everywhere. So I was like, oh, we got to grab a partner. And then the guy that was chasing down the puck with me gave me a cross check. I'm like, oh, this guy must want to fight or something if he's cross checking me. Like everybody knows who I am and what I do. I was like, and then he was a small guy, and I was like, yeah, but I fought small guys before. Like Idomi, Marasti, like these guys are all small guys. Don't underestimate small guys. And then so I gave him an invitation with the club, I guess you would call it at that moment. And then, but no, he didn't want to accept it. So I just gave him like a little bit of a bear hug on the way down. And then I gave him a little bit of a ground and pound, just a little wake him up. And then nothing too savage or hard, you know what I mean? Just a little taps. And then the ref was stood right there. Like you just go, like if the ref was like, hey, Pens, you done? I would have been like, all right, I'm done. And then, if you see my actions afterwards, like I'm not going after anybody. Like I was trying to tell the ref that the goalies are going at it. Stop that. And he's like, I got to get you off. And I was like, okay. I'm like, all right, fine. And then I got off. But like the funny part was we're in Texas. So me being a Canadian boy and just being from 416 boy. And, that I was just like that. People are trying to spit at me and throwing beers at me, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah. One guy couldn't even spit at me. He was so angry, and I was just laughing at him. And then my like one of the owners or managers come in, and he's like, you got to stop fucking firing up the crowd. They got guns. Who knows what they're gonna do? And I was like, if I get shot at a hockey game, man, that's unbelievable. Like, that's funny. I got a beer ball thrown at me. I got a hair thrown at me. Never been shot though. Like, yeah, like,
you probably came close as most hockey players do in their careers, though. That's for sure.
Oh, probably. Hey, man, I grew up. I had buddies that grew up in Jane and Finch and Guildwood and stuff like, and I've never like had that situation. Like, but times have changed, I guess. Jesus.
What was that conversation with though? Like, who called you to be like? You must have been spoken with the commissioner, right? Because that's a pretty hefty suspension for them to come down on you, right? Like, what did they say to you?
Like, it was one of those. It was like, Tanner, we just feel we can't control you. Like, it was one of those where I'm just like, yeah, but like you have the ref standing there, like, and then like the Brahmas was playing a whole political game where they're like, this guy's out for good, he'll never play, he should be out for good, and I'm like, that guy's skating right now. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so it was like a big political thing, and like I got the scapegoat, and you know what, with my record. Like to be honest, I was that guy that was like, you know what? I got to keep everybody on their toes. I got to take at least a 5-game suspension once a year. Let everybody know if I can watch out. Like, you know what I mean? So like I had friends that got traded and stuff, and they know, like, if you're on the ice with me, depends on the mood, wrong place, wrong time. It might happen. Right. So I don't mean to be like malicious, but that's just part of the game. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tanner, what would you say your favorite city to play hockey in was?
What? Sorry, Mike, say it again.
What would you say your favorite city to play hockey in was?
Oh, Colorado. I love.
I was just gonna say, I bet you it's Colorado. Denver, Colorado is my Denver, Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, and Golden, Colorado. My favorite, some of the best cities in the world.
Yeah, Boulder,
Colorado Springs,
Fort Collins. It was anywhere in Colorado. I loved it. Like if I can get back there, I'd get back there. Like it was good friends, good people, good lifestyle. Everybody was happy. Everyone was active. Everybody was trying to better themselves. It was just a good community. And like the Colorado Eagles, oh man, they were better than, they treated you better than American League teams. They were friggin' by par. Like that's why they're there now, because they were that good. They were able to establish their fan base, their winning mentality. Like Chris Stewart had a recipe right there, and he knew what he was doing. And then he had the great support by everybody there, and it's awesome. Colorado's awesome. I love it.
Is it in Denver, Penner? Is it in Denver?
No, it was in Fort Collins. It was Loveland,
okay.
But Fort Collins, and then there's Windsor. They were also in. It was right by Greeley. It's awesome, and I love South Park, so it was. Awesome.
Did you ever get down to Golden though? Did you ever get to the Coors Light? Did you ever get to the Coors Light manufacturer?
Oh yeah. We went down to the Coors Light Stadium. Friggin', I got some good stories with some good guys out there. It was awesome. Like,
I loved it.
The team, the teammates were good there. Like, one of the guys on the team, he was a local boy, and he was buddies with the owner of Otterbox, so he was hooking us up with Otterboxes when they were popular. It was actually really cool, man. And so many
picture. Yeah, so let me try to paint the picture for you guys. So Golden, Colorado is literally in the middle of the mountains, and so that's where they kind of get the Coors Light logo from. And I'm telling you, like, you're right on the water. They got a hotel there. They've got you got the brewery there, and like he said, it's one street. That's it, and it's a cool little town, and it's buzzing. Like it's a good time, a real good time. There's nothing like it though when you're in the middle of the
off the puck. Should go do a live show down there.
Dude, when we get going here, I can't wait for summer to come, because obviously people need some live action. So we're going to definitely do some live shows, whether it's here in Dover or somewhere, but we got to get out of these basements. It's getting ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Sunlight.
Yeah. Sunlight.
Hey, Penner, in Colorado.
What's that?
Styles on the
dial-up.
With
your brother there in Colorado?
Yeah. That was the best thing ever, playing with my brother. I had great times. We went. We just ran rapid. Like it was awesome. I just think of the stories and stuff. Like, oh man, like I remember, like I used to get so drunk, and like I would drink at the bar, and I'd always order like a double Ryan Coke and then like a shot of tequila or something. And like I just take a shot and then drink and then shot and then drink and then just keep going until like I was just face down on the bar. And I had these two twin guys that were the bartenders, and they used to like go in my wallet, like pay them, tip them, put me in a cab, and like send me. And I remember my brother was just like fireman carrying me and like on the home, throwing me on the lawn. Like it was just me and him. Like I was just like, I was a mess. It was young and dumb, right? You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen your YouTube video there with you and your bro. You strapping on the pads and him shooting on you.
Oh yeah, I used to play goalie, so like it was like, yeah, I wanted to be like my dad, and like my brother, yeah, and play goalie. And then I got to the age where I wanted to hit and make contact, so I couldn't do goalie anymore. And then me and him played together, and it was a good experience. It's something like when you're both the same and you're both driven, but you're kind of both your own character, and you grew up your whole life like playing road hockey together and doing all that. And it's I don't know, like there's a couple guys I know that got to play with their family members and siblings and stuff like that, so it's a great experience. It's just, and it's so rare. Like, what's the chances, right? He's a goalie too, and he's 4 years older than me, and like I've always looked up to him and idolized him and his friends and stuff. Like he had a good group of friends and guys that they played with, and so it was a good memory.
It's awesome.
Speaking of stories, while we're on stories, I had one from Gilby. He wanted me to ask you to share. He said you brought him to a game. You brought him to, and he was in the stand scrapping while you're on the ice scrapping.
Man, that guy he's his own weapon. He's awesome. Yeah, you couldn't find a better friend.
Right.
Like he's me and him are two of the same. Like we've had our ups and downs.
Yeah.
He's had some bad luck, and he's climbed through it, and he's awesome. He's a guy if it's the middle of the night and you're in the middle of nowhere, or if you're in jail, he's either beside you or he's bailing you out, one or the other. Like, and he's probably beside you for sure.
Yeah.
But I brought him up.
Yeah, beside you for sure. I was gonna say he's beside you.
So the story goes, I'll tell you here. I brought him up. I'm like, let's go to Quebec, and he's just like, your typical Ontario guy. He's like, not a big French guy. Don't like him.
Don't like the French.
Yeah. And I'm like, buddy, they're awesome. Like, trust me, as long as you try and you're not an asshole, they will help you out. They're great people. You know what I mean? Just try and just be open. And he's like, okay. So we get up there and we drive. It's like a 15-hour drive. So it's a good drive up there. We have me and Gilby have a good bonding moment. And then we get up there and we hit the bed and get ready for the game. And then where were we? I think we were in like Sorel Tracy. I think it was Sorel Tracy. And I think it was the big like line brawl. And we were just like, I just remember Tillian and we were just fighting. And all I remember is my back going against the glass. And I kind of peek over my shoulder and I see Gilby there just going toe to toe with all these guys. And I'm like, what the hell?
Stance.
Yeah, like he's just going toe to toe. And I'm
owns the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? And then next thing you know, I'm in the scrap again. And then I end up in the bench and I'm sitting in the bench. And then Gilby pops out of nowhere and he's like, better get the F in there, go get him. And I'm like, man, take a look at me. I'm a mess. I'm bleeding all over the place. Like, what the hell is going on? And then what I didn't know, but because I was getting close to the glass, people were trying to throw stuff and like try to reach for me. And they were speaking French. And Gilby was trying to say, like, hey, leave him alone. But they were speaking French, and he was all fired up. So he's just like, screw it. I got to defend my buddy. So he just starts throwing bombs everywhere. I was just like, I can't play. But if this was down in the States, I couldn't play anywhere. But in Quebec, I got to bring him everywhere, man. Like, friggin', he would have been my personal crowd bouncer with everybody. Like,
that's wild. Jeez, you've had quite the career, man. That's amazing.
Oh, it's this is the PG version. I can't even tell you the guys.
Well, that's why we have the off-air stuff. We should almost like steal something from TSN 1050. Do off the puck after dark.
Oh.
Ooh, now it's a little juicy. Here's something I'm going to throw out there, and someone's going to steal this idea, but I'm going to be pissed about it. So I'm copywriting it right here, right now. Make sure I get the date, April 12th. I need the time, 9:44. I've always wanted to see someone do an anonymous book of junior hockey stories.
Hey, I want somebody to do. I would even do it, but I want to see the true story,
right,
like Bob Colbert's story of a fighter. Yeah. I want not just goon like lovey-dovey stuff. I want to see like the real, like, and all those fighters know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
No, you know what? I would love to see that too. Listen,
and like, like getting in the wrong crowds, and having some good friends that aren't so good people, like the real.
Yeah. I always wanted one of those, those like chicken soup for the soul types, like one of those bathroom readers, right? It's 4 pages just of a story that someone submitted from either a time in junior hockey, a time playing pro. Again, I like that little Tarian story I've told many times about when the guy went in and he asked him about his save percentage. You guys remember me telling that story? It was on Spit and Chicklets. I don't know if you heard that, Penner, about Tarian had the goalie come in and he says, here's what's wrong with your goalie percentage. And he handed him a 230-page stack of papers, and all it was his save percentage. That was it. Here's why you're not playing well.
That's it. You got to save more. You got to stop the puck, man. It's easy.
Exactly.
Goalie's the easiest position. Just stop the puck.
Here you go, Styles. Take that.
Stop the puck, man. Hey, if you just dumb it down for everything, like you just need to put the puck in the net. Like I don't know what you're going to do. You figure it out. You're the guy. Like me, you go intimidate them.
Speaking of tough, let's see how Campbell handles his loss. Campbell lost tonight for the first time. Leafs take the loss 4-2. It's Jack Campbell's first loss in the pipes for the Leafs against Montreal. So that's one of those things about trade deadline day that I love and I hate. Sometimes you show up, and I think this is the second time that the Leafs have gone out of protocol for away games, and they've lost both games. They went down early last year to Tampa, I think it was, to have a good time. They got smacked. And they went early to Montreal last night to watch the Masters. And they lost again 4-2 tonight. How many people think that those privileges are about to get taken away?
Nah, man. No. It's before you get on the run, you got to get it out of your system. Get it out of your system and then go for the run. And why wouldn't you go down to the Masters? That's the best.
I agree. 100%.
Like,
I would think go down
and
and
now and in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I know. I agree. I think it's good for the boys to let loose. Was there any coaches that you ever had, Penner, coming through, whether it's at the pro level, junior level, like that kind of had that mentality? Like, we're going to loosen, we're going to take it loosey-goosey this weekend, and Matt, whatever happens.
Oh man. Yeah, no.
Now remember, I'm not just saying you go loosey-goosey, off the rails. I'm talking like a coach is like, "Hey boys, we're gonna take it easy."
You know what? You know who which coach was like that? Greg Pankowitz. That guy is an animal. Like, that's the guy that's on off the record, throwing his shirt off, fucking yelling and getting naked on the bench. Yeah, Greg Pankowitz. Oh, awesome guy. Awesome.
That's awesome. So let's quickly brush over. Like, I think it's important that we talk about some of the stuff going on. One of the things that I had mentioned today on Twitter that actually got a little bit of love was I was yelling at Darren Millard today for his little post about Austin Matthews being the MVP of the league, and I said enough's enough. Like, everyone's just got to shut up, and it's just admit that it's going to be Connor McDavid for the next 5 years, and the only reason he doesn't get it is just because they don't want to give it to him every year. Am I wrong in saying that?
No.
No.
Styles, what do you think, Mr. Leaf fan there?
I just think it all kind of bases on the season that the team has, right? I think, like, if the team has like a good season, like the Leafs are this year, they're going to pick, which is where David's better, but good, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or Walks, what do you think?
I think it's debatable, right? Because they have the MVP voted by the players, and then they've got the MVP award, right?
Yeah.
Matthews gets voted in by the players, but with Connor posting points the way he does every year, he's a lock on the heart, I would say, most times.
Penner, who's the best guy you ever played with? Who's the best, not famous, best kid you ever skated with? You're like, I don't know how this guy's not playing.
Oh, when I was young, Jamie Niles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a name.
That guy was the next Manny Malhotra.
Wow, what a name. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, he was the next Manny Malhotra. I played West Hill Golden Hawks with that kid, and that kid was the best. He just didn't have the finances, really, you know what I mean? But he had the support. He was so good. People would rally to support this kid. He was that good. Like, he's still good. He plays like pickup, man. My buddy Dylan Peer, again, 416 boy. He plays with them still. And he's still good. Like, that kid, when we were like, man, what grade were we in? Like six, 7. Like, he was shooting in stride. Like, he could have gone. He could have been good, just as good as like Wojtek Wolski and stuff.
Yeah, we had a buddy of mine who I played with named Mike Fish, and Mike he's an 85. I think you're an 86, right?
Yeah.
So he's an 85, and he played Mississauga. And I know Anthony and I know Chris Stewart just from coaching. And every time I bring them up, they're like, this guy should have been, like, no question, he was one of the best players in the league until he shattered his leg.
Yeah,
like that's an absolute stud. He's like, and he could do anything. And he played. Actually, you probably played against him when he was playing with us here in Orangeville.
Okay.
Yeah, guy was a stud. Actually, actually, you know what? When you guys used to come to Teen Ranch,
Yeah.
remember coming to Teen Ranch playing against us? He scored one of the nicest goals I'd ever seen on you guys from the hash mark on a penalty or in a power play. Wrist shot from the hash marks, like just shelved the goalie. And we didn't score much, so that's why I remember it. You guys probably scored 12. We got one.
And this was back then. We had a good goalie too. We had Blankburn back then too, so we had a good goalie.
Yeah, no, it was a great goal, and no, like I said, there's a couple guys. Styles, anybody that you played with that were to shout out that should have made it that now works with like you or or he does something that he probably should be playing hockey.
I always say just because of size, man. I don't say it my whole life. Walker, I don't know if you'll agree. Matt Cook, man, that guy was he had skill like I've never seen a player had. He was only at 5, if that. But yeah, he had talent like I've never seen as a goalie. I could never stop the guy. He would always come up with something new every time. And yeah, I shout out to Matt Cook. I think if he had a little bit of size, he would have went somewhere. And if it was today's game, he would have been there now.
Well, back when he played Simcoe, I played Norwich. He went, I believe it was 51 and 34, 35 games. So I mean, says for itself right there what his talent was for sure.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, shout out to all the hardworking guys that never made it. Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
They say you have statistically a better chance to go to school, start your own business, make millions of dollars, and own a team than to actually be on the team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, why do you think when I was 24, I went and bought my own hockey team, right? Right? Because I'm like, I'm not coach, I'm not playing. I hear the only way I get in is if I run the show.
I was talking with Ryan because I'm good friends with the Ludzik family, and shout out to Steve Ludzik Sr., Ludzik Strong, and then the boys. But yeah, they were talking about buying the Ice Dogs or a team or any team really, just thinking about it just because it's sorry again, boys. Just love hockey and just kind of want to get back into it because it's just something that's just a part of you. You know what I mean? The hockey community is a great community and it's a very supporting community, and there's a lot of guys out there that are doing well. So just do something, maybe coach kids or something, you know what I mean? Give back a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough business. I got the U12 AAA boys next year, so we're gonna get back into that after doing some girls and did that for 6 years, then 5. So excited to get back. Walker, I'm sure you're excited to get back behind the bench with your junior team and Styles, whatever you do, and you're on your own time. Hopefully, you're excited to get back to doing that. maybe he'll get back one day. Yeah, I'd love to see him coach or goalie coach. You should hire him.
Oh yeah,
free.
Yeah, he's got the right. Yeah, he's got the right. The price is right. That's one of those get what you pay for. Guys, you're still getting what you pay for. I bet you'd be good at the budget. You'd be good at it. Oh, I know you.
Buy in the budget.
Yeah,
like my internet. It's what you get paid for. That's nice. So
yeah. And Ben, I know playing at the pro level and grinding and things like that. You normally don't, you don't get paid millions of dollars. You do it because you love it. You did get to put some money in your account, which is fantastic. Not a lot of guys do, playing the game. What was the most, elaborate purchase you ever made, and where you're kind of like, this is really going to screw the budget up a little bit, but I'm doing it no matter what?
Oh, man, I don't.
It can't be like the $4,000 bottle of booze or something like that.
Man, boys, I didn't save up enough money. I think a wedding ring was probably the most I've ever saved up for. And besides that, I give my money away. Like I get a check and just it's out. I'm like, here we go, boys. Like, let's go spend it on whatever. And then I'm terrible with money. Probably.
Why don't you ask Adam Styles the same story in college? That's a legendary story right there from one of our co-hosts here. You won't do it.
At the hotel.
legendary Adam Styles. You won't do it. Story, full paycheck. You won't spend it all at the bar. Yeah, he did that.
Buying shooters for everyone at the bar that night.
Yeah, you should have seen my first time Boilermaker. I was a Boilermaker apprentice, and I did a shutdown, and I made like I made like my year's salary playing minor pro hockey in a month. I was like, what the hell? And like, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Like when I first started playing hockey, like pro, it was like $350 a week. Like it was terrible. When I finished, it was probably up there, 1,200, 1,500. It was something respectable, but it was nothing. Like, that's what I mean. I tell guys at work all the time now, I'm like, hey, like we just got to go like climb. Sometimes depends where you're working. Boilermakers all over the world and doing multiple tasks. And so it depends where you are. Sometimes they just ask you to climb 200 feet, weld something up, you know, get in that hole, hammer something down, go over here, grind something. I'm like, I used to sit on the bench for like $500 a week, and like have to look at a guy 2 to 3 times a day, like a week. Like, you know what I mean? Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, and like fight this huge monster. And like, if I lose, I might my stuff might be packed, and I might be left at the bus stop. Like, you guys just have to show up on time and swing a hammer. I'm like, this is easy, and like, and you get paid really good money. Like, so. But it was no, it was a little bit of a change. It was there's the Boilermaker Local 128. A little shout out to them. They took care of me. They brought me in. A gentleman, Dan Gregg, up in Port Elgin, saw potential in me, welcomed me into the Boilermaker Union, and I've been trying to do a good job ever since because I'm very proud. I know, especially right now, pandemic and COVID, I'm very fortunate to have my union hall to keep me employed and keep me working. And they've done a great job with me, and they took me at a troubled time. I was going through mental health issues and concussions, and like going to do that transition from the Quebec League to just a regular life. And it's you know, if you don't have all your ducks in order, I can see how people can take it hard, and how the transition is very difficult on people. And that's one thing I'm involved with now with the union, and with just the community in general, is mental health awareness. Just being aware of yourself, being aware of others. You know what I mean? It just doesn't start with you and finish with you. There's family members that are affected or that could be suffering. So just a little side note there, you know, everybody, just make sure you're very understanding. I think being understanding to other people's situations, not everybody is fortunate as each other. So just making sure that we have an open ear and an open mind to each other, and help each other out. So just a little side note there for everybody.
Oh, look, it's a great message, and you know what? I couldn't think about another way of ending the show. That's absolutely perfect, Alex. And I know the boys really appreciate you coming on. I know I do for sure. I actually loved those. To be honest, out of all the pro stuff, I like looking back at your Guelph Dominators and seeing all the guys that we used to play against. I'm sure we crossed paths one time or another.
Man, we used to. My billets they learned. I had some great billets, but they hated me. Like. Yeah,
just a problem. Just a problem.
Well, but I was a good kid. I was really good, very nice. I was a very good kid at the time. You know what I mean? But I was always just up late, coming in early, like out with the boys. You know, like I had a bunch of the boys, like girlfriends that used to take care of me and stuff, because I was just like a mess, and like used to drive me home and do it. You know what I mean? Just make sure I was safe, because we were. Like I said, the hockey community, we got to take care of each other. You know what I mean? Yep. We're all
good friends.
For sure, especially in times like this. And thanks again to our guest, Alex Penner, for joining us here on the show, Off the Puck Hockey. Just a reminder, you can catch OTP every Saturday night, 9 p.m., Rogers TV, Channel 20. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, at Off the Puck Hockey, at FHN Network. Boys, thanks again for coming on here tonight. Styles, Mr. Walker, thanks, boys. And again, obviously, Mr. Penner, unbelievable guest. And
thank you, Penner.
Can't wait to have you back, buddy.
Thanks, Penner.
Fine. Anytime, boys.
Big shouts to our brand new partners out west, ASTV. Going to be Central Time every time they post. We're going to be live Monday nights at 9 p.m. On ASTV. And again, we thank that crew for bringing us on. I'm your host, Tyler Fines. And with me, as always, my boys Styles and Mike, producer Matty Huddle behind the scenes, making the magic happen, and Mr. Marty Zylstra providing our Unreal theme music. This is Off the Puck Hockey. Let's go. And then we shut her down.